My wife, the CEO, never imagined that just because she handed my position over to her first love, I would take our son, fake my death, and leave. But unexpectedly, she suddenly mentioned me at the party. She claimed the family had been in a cold war for so long that I should have gotten over it by now and that we should reconcile. Her first love interjected. It's true. After all, your son is only a year old, he can't leave you. How could he stay so angry? Zhang Ruonan then asked, It's almost New Year's, where is he? The butler looked sadly at the seat her first love occupied and said, The master and the young master committed suicide 3 days ago. As soon as he finished speaking, everyone saw that the usually arrogant CEO, now completely ignoring her usual public image, ran out the door with red and tearful eyes. All of Beicheng knew I was Zhang's most obsessive pursuer. Zhang Ruonan, that year, I was madly in love with her, insisting on becoming her husband. But they didn't know that Zhang Ruonan had given me a diamond ring when I was 5 years old, promising she would marry me when she grew up. At 1555 asterisk, Zhang Ruonan carved our initials on her chest along with a solemn promise. I want to love you every day, forever, and never leave you. At 1858 asterisk, Zhang Ruonan risked her life to save me from a fire, but a beam fell on her head, requiring urgent surgery. The doctor said she might lose her memory before the operation. Then, Zhang Ruonan took off the Buddhist rosary she had always worn since childhood and placed it in my hand. Not even death can separate us, let alone a little amnesia. Little one, please wait for me. I will definitely remember you. Remember to keep this Buddhist rosary safe. Don't take it off, it is a token so we can recognize each other. Then Zhang Ruonan regained consciousness, but she lost all memories from before she was 16 and confused Tang Yan with someone else. Tian Hao, who secretly loves her, is her boyfriend. For the past 8 years, I have tried everything, but it was impossible to help Zhang Ruonan recover her memories. On the contrary, because of her mother. Zhang insisted on marrying me, which only made her hate me even more. Even when I recently had a nearly fatal car accident, Zhang Ruonan remained calm. She uttered such cruel words. Just wait until he dies, then inform me. It will be divine justice. Hao replaced me as her husband. This statement completely stripped away my last trace of affection. As my only gift to her, I took my son to the office to stage a fake death. From now on, only I want to abandon Zhang Ruonan's world, never see her again, and leave. Leaving the office, I saw a large screen in the mall playing a video over and over. The media interview scene shows Zhang Ruonan and Yang Tianhao in the frame. With a sweet look, she thought of her son, Yang Yang, who was only 3 years old and needed love and affection at this crucial moment. He is the son of my beloved, so I will treat him as my own and raise him to be a talented person, the response said. Zhang Ruonan's actions caused bystanders to gather around, shouting wildly, and the women. Even a cold and distant CEO can be as gentle as water, and she even treats her lover's son well. First love is like having your own child. Such deep affection, such unwavering loyalty that it would kill you with envy. That's it. The woman President Zhang has loved since she was 1656 asterisk, despite once being abandoned by Yang Tianhao because she was blind. She lost the sight in both eyes but remained firm and loyal, waiting patiently for 3 years until she could finally reconnect her eyes. Remembering a past love, a woman as generous and deeply caring as her is truly rare in this world. That guy Tang Yan took advantage of President Zhang's amnesia to intervene. Who knows how many tricks he used then to force her to marry him. Clearly, Tian Hao and the other were the true love. What is so special about being a husband in name only? No one knows what tricks Tang Yan used to get this position. He is so naive, thinking that forcing President Zhang to have a child would secure her heart. President Zhang didn't even look at him carefully. It's obvious she only wanted to cut short his career. I have never seen such a shameless man. Those two were a perfect couple, knowing perfectly well that President Zhang only wanted Yang Tianhao in her heart, but he still clung to her and refused to leave. What a cunning person! Everyone's cold words were like a sharp sword piercing my heart, causing me unbearable pain. The baby's crying interrupted my thoughts. Lost in my thoughts, ignoring everyone else, I ran to the nearby mall, looking for the mother and baby section to prepare milk for my son. Unfortunately, I ran into Zhang Ruonan, who was in the toy store on the first floor buying a toy gun for Yang Tianhao's son. The woman chose patiently, with a cold smile on her face. As soon as she saw me, Zhang Ruonan's smile faded, she said coldly. Besides constantly looking for me and begging me to come home, can't you do anything decent? It's okay, Ruonan, said Yang Taihao. Tang Yan was just discharged from the hospital after the car accident. He is still very weak. Right now, he urgently needs someone to take care of him. If he doesn't rest well, his leg will suffer greatly from the after effects. Yang Tianhao put his arm around her waist, as if declaring his property, smiling sweetly. Anyway, Tang Yan has already come to look for you. Be good. Today you should go home with him. The two children are almost a year old, and I am the father, but she has never held him in her arms. It's not right. Tang Yan's son is just a tool to me, an elder. He has no right for me to hold him. Then Zhang Ruonan affectionately pinched the cheek of the child in her arms. Although Yang Yang is not her biological son, she felt much better. Their discussion attracted the attention and gossip of those around them. My God! Aren't they Zhang Ruonan and her husband? This child is of her own blood, and she is saying such harsh things. For 3 years she was blind, and Tang Yan was always by her side taking care of her, but her tone sounds as if she wants Tang Yan to die. Yes, CEO Zhang is terrible. Her husband was just discharged from the hospital after a car accident, his body is still very weak, and he receives no care from his wife. It is truly despicable. It's a shame people always get carried away. In situations like this, some scold me, others pity me. I'm already used to it. I looked at Zhang Ruonan's disgusted face, eyes full of tears. She had completely forgotten that she once risked her life, throwing herself into the fire to save me. She forgot that when I had leukemia, she defied all opposition and donated bone marrow to me. She forgot the promise to love each other every day, to never be separated. The one who was trapped in those sweet memories was not Zhang Ruonan, but me. Luckily in 3 days I will leave her world forever. The baby's crying grew more intense, and I was burning with anxiety. Yang Tianhao blocked my path. I ran to the mother and baby room at the end of the hall. Outside, I heard a man's painful cry. I focused on preparing the milk for my son and heard the phone ringing non-stop. Was Zhang Ruonan calling? I hung up decisively. After comforting my son, I left the room and saw Zhang Ruonan holding Yang Tianhao, who was resting on a bench. The man had a bandage on his forehead. Ruonan, don't blame Tang Yan. He was in a hurry to take care of the baby and pushed me by mistake. He didn't mean to ruin my face. This man knows I live by my beauty, but he still pushed me deliberately. It's too cruel, Zhang Ruonan said coldly, her face shadowed. Tang Yan, come here quickly. I'm sorry, Tianhao. No need, Hao, said Yang Tianhao. Although his mouth refused, his eyes were full of smugness. I looked at Yang Tianhao without any emotion, took off the Buddhist rosary I was wearing, and gave it to her. I ran into you by mistake today, so I'll use this to apologize. Hearing this, a flash of doubt appeared in Zhang Ruonan's eyes. Yang Tianhao was also very surprised and pretended to refuse, saying, No way, this is the most precious thing you have, please keep it. My face is fine, you don't have to be so tense. What trick are you trying to play now? Zhang Ruonan suppressed her unease. If you're upset, I told you to give the Buddhist rosary back to Tianhao before, and you flatly refused. Why are you suddenly willing today? I'm not trying to trick you. I simply don't want to keep it anymore. I hugged my son calmly and left, but Zhang Ruonan stopped me on the way. Don't think you can use any tricks. This soft trick won't make me agree to go home with you. You want women to go crazy? Keep dreaming. I put the Buddhist rosary in her hand, without even looking at her, and walked away. In 3 days, I will leave her world completely. I no longer care about the rosary she gave me. I no longer care if she wants to go home or not. Zhang Ruonan felt vaguely that I seemed to have changed, but she couldn't pinpoint exactly where. She carefully cleaned the rosaries and gave them to Yang Tianhao. This is my most precious set of protective beads, I give it to you. Ruonan seemed angry. You should go home, Yang Tianhao advised her kindly. Whether he is angry or not is none of your business. Zhang Ruonan said coldly, Let's go. The wall clock struck exactly 12, and Zhang Ruonan had not yet returned. If it had been before, I would have called everyone around her, asking about her whereabouts, and I tried to convince her to come home, even though Zhang Ruonan had already undergone 2 surgeries, including a craniotomy, and could not stay up late. But right now, I was busy with all my belongings, and didn't want to waste time with unimportant people. I asked my aunt to check and list all the gifts I had given Zhang Ruonan over the years. 5 large boxes were full, with a watch valued at hundreds of millions, calligraphy written by me, 136 sets of high-end formal clothes, and 238 love letters I had written to her. I had previously tried to use these passionate letters in the hope of rekindling her feelings. Her love and her memories were for me, but unexpectedly, that year, Yang Tianhao secretly conspired to delay my visit to the hospital to see Zhang Ruonan. When I rushed to the hospital with the letters, Zhang Ruonan had already woken up. She held Yang Tianhao's hand tightly and said affectionately, "Tianhao, I will treat you well for the rest of my life. I will help you become a movie star." I felt shocked and saddened, desperately wanting to use the love letters and the Buddhist rosary to prove my identity, but I only received distrust and coldness from Zhang Ruonan. He was a truly cunning man who dared to secretly change the name of the protagonist of the love letters I wrote to Tianhao for his own, even intentionally tattooing a photo of me on his chest, and stealing the Buddhist rosary I gave to Tianhao. His character was absolutely despicable. The girl who once loved me so deeply now only believed the lies and more lies of Yang Tianhao, leaving me only disgust and contempt, no matter how much her friends explained it. Zhang Ruonan stood firm, insisting that I tried to steal Yang Tianhao's position deliberately. She even cruelly threatened to break all ties with Al, her friend, if she continued to defend me. Thinking about the 8 years I spent chasing Zhang Ruonan, the waiting seat, the hopelessness, and her cold and mocking words, tears flowed involuntarily down my cheeks. If she really loved me, why didn't she show any physical reaction with me and confuse someone else for her boyfriend? Why didn't she trust me? Ultimately, it was because Zhang Ruonan didn't love me enough, which is why she easily fell for the charms of others. I suppressed the bitterness in my heart, took off my wedding ring, threw it in the trash, and poured gasoline on the clothes. The maid picked up the ring from the trash and said anxiously, "Sir, this is the orchid wedding ring that my young mistress personally crafted and polished. You can't throw it away on your anniversary." "Fine, and these gifts and love letters too, they are the most precious things to the young lady. If you burn them, she will go crazy. Please, give her a little more time. She loves you so much that she will undoubtedly regain her memory. And even if Zhang Ruonan regains her memory later, I no longer need her." I threw the lit lighter onto the pile of clothes. The Zhang Ruonan I loved died years ago. She will never return. The flames shone brightly, illuminating my cold eyes, full of infinite sadness, but above all, of a longing for the future. In 62 hours, I will take my son and disappear completely, leaving nothing for Zhang Ruonan. I went into the room to lull my son. Picking him up, I suddenly noticed his body was burning. His face was flushed, and he was vomiting constantly. My expression changed. I rushed him to the parking lot, suddenly remembering I didn't have the car keys. Zhang Ruonan had grabbed them, and I dragged myself out of the villa with my injured legs. I stood on the side of the road signaling a car, but none passed. Just when I was getting very nervous, I saw a familiar Rolls-Royce pass by. Inside were Zhang Ruonan and Yang Tianhao. "Stop! Stop the car quickly!" I tried to completely forget the animosity between her and me, while holding my umbrella to protect myself from the strong wind, and running with all my might to hit the window and shout, "Zhang Ruonan, quick! Let me in! Tang Yan has a high fever and needs to go to the hospital immediately." Zhang Ruonan lowered the window, looked into my eyes, and said in a low voice, "You were so cunning. Seeing that I didn't want to go home, you even made up that the child was sick to trick me? The child has a high fever. I am so worried that I am sweating and my voice is trembling. Zhang Ruonan, I have never begged you for anything, only this once. The child has your blood running through his veins. Don't you feel sorry? Tang Yan has such a high fever that he is about to faint. Tang Yan is just a tool for me to deal with adults. Does he deserve my pain?" Zhang Ruonan kissed the other child's cheek and said, "Brother Tianhao, although Yang Yang is not my biological son, he looks a lot like you. I love him so much. I only want to give him all the best in the world." My heart filled with bitterness, my voice hoarse. "Ruonan, for your mother's sake, please, save the child." "Ruonan, it's raining so hard I can't get a taxi. Why don't you let them in the car?" Yang Tianhao closed his script and said in a low voice, "The wound on his forehead will heal in a few days. It's fine, idiot. How many times has he tricked you already? Why haven't you learned your lesson? Zhang Ruonan, we have to take Yang Yang to the hospital to have his tooth filled. We have no time to waste, she said, and drove off. The mud splashed all over me, soaking my coat, making the blood in my veins grow colder and colder, so cold that my whole body shook and I couldn't speak. Zhang Ruonan has forgotten how much she once loved me. Wishing for my death is cruel enough, and tonight she is even standing by watching her own son die. She is not worthy of being a mother. I struggled with my tired body, running toward the main road, trying to stop passing cars, waving my hands frantically. Finally, a car stopped. The driver ran out, opened the door, and said, "Is your son sick? Get in quick. I'll take you both to the hospital." "Thank you," I said, hugging my son tightly and softly. "Tang Yan, you must try your best. We're almost at the hospital." "Well, young man, I see your son is very small, probably not even a year old, right? With such a high fever, why are you taking the baby to the hospital alone? Where is your wife?" the driver asked. "She's gone," I replied coldly. The driver looked at me with compassion. "It's certainly not easy. There's a dry towel in the seat compartment. Wipe your hair so you don't catch a cold," I said. At that moment, the car shot off like lightning, catching up to the Rolls-Royce in front, which was stopped at a red light next to mine. Through the window, I saw Yang Tianhao hugging Zhang Ruo Nan, laughing and talking happily. He even looked at me provocatively. "Young man, is that rich woman in the car your wife?" asked the driver, looking toward where I was looking, and cursed furiously. "Damn it, she's not human. Her son is very sick and she is flirting with a gigolo, ignoring her own son." "So what if it's her own son? She only wants to raise other people's children." I dried his armpits and elbows with the towel, voice full of concern. "Driver, please drive a little faster. We have arrived at the hospital. They have taken my son to the emergency room, and the doctor has given me a prescription and asked me to pay for it. Since Tang Yan was born premature, he needs imported medicines, which in total exceed 20,000 yuan. After getting married, I left my job to stay home and take care of Zhang Ruonan. I spent all my savings, more than 200,000 yuan, on my son. Now I have very little left. I found the black card Zhang Ruonan had given me before, and, upon checking it, saw that everything was locked. Reluctantly, I called Zhang Ruonan. They answered the phone immediately, and I heard her voice on the other end. "Yang Tianhao, what's wrong?" "Ruonan is taking Yang to get a filling." Before I could say anything, the sound of a phone falling to the floor echoed from inside. "Ruonan, does your shoulder hurt? Stay still, don't move, let me massage you." I hung up, worried about how to ask Al for a loan, when Dr. Lee, from the emergency room, offered to help me with the medical expenses. I felt surprised and grateful and bowed deeply. Dr. Lee thanked me effusively, saying, "Thank you very much. You did everything possible to save my son's life. Before, when he was born premature, you even kept him in the ICU for 15 days before transferring him to a normal ward. Today you are helping me again like this. I will pay you back after selling my house." "You don't have to pay me back yet," Dr. Lee said compassionately. "You were just discharged from the hospital after a traffic accident. Don't overexert yourself, rest well, and don't be reckless. After all, your son's life is in the hands of the whole department. We have fought day and night." He finally saved me, I thought, my heart comforted and my eyes full of tears. A doctor I had only seen a couple of times was willing to help, while my wife, wanting to punish me, blocked all my bank cards, ignored our son, and was busy having fun with her lover. I truly have no dignity or value as a husband. "Mr. Tang, for the sake of our son, you must try your best," Dr. Lee comforted me as they were about to take me to the emergency room. I said in a low voice, "For Tang Yan, I will live well." "Oh, by the way, Mr. Tang, the new medicine our hospital has researched has given good results. When do you plan to inform President Zhang? This medication can restore damaged nerves and help President Zhang quickly recover her memory. Or perhaps we should wait until after the child's birthday party the day after tomorrow," said Dr. Lee. 2 hours later, my son's high fever was finally under control. I held him tight, with tears on my cheeks. Dr. Lee said that if we had arrived 10 minutes later, my son's high fever could have caused paralysis. No, this child weighed only 750 grams at birth and had to spend half a month in the ICU to survive. Zhang Ruonan hated her, flatly refusing to breastfeed her. Even though the girl cried until she was hoarse, she wouldn't even take her in her arms. And today, because of Zhang Ruonan's indifference, the girl was almost left disabled. A person like that not only doesn't deserve to be a mother, but doesn't deserve to be a human being. I want her to suffer for what she did today after she regains her memory. I want her never to see us again, so that she suffers the torment of her conscience night after night, gnawed by guilt forever. I put the child down to go buy medicine. In the elevator, I ran into Zhang Ruonan, carrying Yang Tianhao's son. She smiled radiantly. Tianhao, don't be stingy with me. For the child's dental treatment, use the most expensive materials, 108,000 yuan. To me, it's just money to buy a bag. I lowered my head, hiding the coldness in my eyes. I looked forward to the day Zhang Ruonan regained her memory. Would she still treat Yang Tianhao's son so well? I longed to see her, shattered and weeping. Thank you, wife, for treating Yang so well. Yang Tianhao looked up and saw me in the elevator. His expression was a bit unnatural. He forced a smile and said, Tang Yan, are you okay? You look very pale. How about letting Ruonan help you take care of the child for a while? Does he even deserve to have me take care of his son? Zhang Ruonan snorted coldly and added, begging me to go home? Honestly. He dared to take the risk, didn't hesitate to make his child sick, and then ran to the hospital to block me. How can there be a father in this world as heartless and ungrateful as you? Zhang Ruonan's words pierced my heart like a knife, but I ignored her completely, looking away and lowering my head. I was adjusting my son's clothes when, unexpectedly, the strap of the baby bag I was carrying got caught. The incision was torn, bottles and diapers were scattered everywhere, and I tried to endure the sharp pain from the surgical wound. With his legs bent, Yang Tianhao struggled to squat down to pick up the items, reaching out to hold his arm. My hand, your right leg is injured. Stay still and don't move so I can help you. Pick him up, Tianhao. Why do you care so much? Zhang Ruonan hurriedly pulled him away. Yang Tianhao stepped back with a sad expression. She knew he was plotting something to hurt him. No, stay away from him. Ruonan, don't think he is such an evil person. Anyway, we used to be roommates in the dorm, Yang Tianhao said in a soft tone. Well, although his academic progress is slow, he is very diligent and hardworking. Diligent effort. Just to get the last place in the entire group of stars, Zhang Ruonan mocked. Tang Yan has... It is truly unfortunate that my son has such an uneducated father and such a soulless mother. Someone like her, even more unfortunate, tried to endure the pain of the surgical incision, pick up your son's water bottle, and never say outside that you are Tang Yan's mother. Besides, since she doesn't deserve it, Zhang Ruonan looked at me with an expression of disbelief. Suddenly, I felt a bit distant in front of her. I've always been obedient and listened to her. I would never dare to argue like this. Stop using that manipulative tactic and soft talk. Zhang Ruonan's face darkened. I said, let me tell you, whatever you do tonight, I wasn't going home. Before I could finish speaking, I picked up the girl and stepped out of the elevator. Suddenly, Tang Yan stopped in his tracks, with eyes wide open and his small rabbit hands emerging from inside the colorful wrapped scarf. Grabbing Zhang Ruonan's sleeve, he babbled something to her. Milk around. The child's mouth was dripping. The back of Zhang Ruonan's hand was holding him, supporting him. Then she pushed the child's hand away, took off her white vest and threw it into the nearby trash can, frowning. What are you saying? How disgusting! The boy was frightened by her aggressive voice and covered his face with his hands. Burying his head in my chest, he cried bitterly. Tang Yan, don't cry, your father is here, I whispered. My heart hurt so much. I gently kissed the corner of the child's eye, my voice trembling with emotion. Daddy will always be there for you. Dear son, from now on we will depend on each other to live. Just listen to me. While I spoke, Zhang Ruonan couldn't help but stop, seeing my expression of anguish. A strange and disturbing sensation arose within me, as if something was slowly and gradually slipping out of my reach. Out of her control, Yang was bleeding from the nose. Yang Tianhao was worried and quickly took the child to the bathroom to rinse his nose. Zhang Ruonan regained her composure. She was about to take Yang away, but suddenly she stopped, and her voice turned cold. No, the other day is my daughter's birthday, and my mother will attend. I warn you not to play tricks. What else? If not, don't even think about setting foot in my house again. I mocked without responding. According to her, in just 24 hours I will take the child to her birthday party, exactly what she was waiting for. It was just a divorce petition, nothing more. The next morning, I contacted the agent to arrange an appointment. When they arrived to see the house, the elderly couple looked at each other with serious expressions, and then Tang Yan rushed over. Is there a problem with selling the house? I replied calmly. Why? I just bought a house near my work. This house belongs to my wife, it is registered in my name, and there is no dispute whatsoever, if you two really want it. I would give them a discount of 500,000 yuan, but they had to pay it all at once. The elderly couple agreed and signed the contract immediately. I accompanied them to the notary's office to complete the transfer of ownership and authorized the real estate agent to buy another house they could move into immediately. After everything was settled, I canceled all my bank cards and went to the administrative center to get my passport. Then I bought a plane ticket to leave Nanchang the next day. That night, I dragged my tired body home and unexpectedly saw a pair of brown leather shoes in the shoe rack by the door that were not mine. My head was spinning and I stumbled up the stairs. I saw Yang Tianhao drawing eyebrows for Zhang Ruonan by the dressing table in the master bedroom. The two were looking at each other intensely and ambiguously. Hearing the noise, a look of panic crossed Yang Tianhao's face. He pushed away the woman in his arms and said, Ruonan, stop playing around. Tang Yan is back. It's not appropriate for us to do this in front of him. This is your house, you can do whatever you want. Whatever I do, he is only a husband in name. What right does he have to control me? Said Zhang Ruonan coldly, without stopping her drawing. For you, don't stop. My face turned purple. I clenched my fist, intending to hit Yang Tianhao, but then I slowly let them go and ran out of the villa. I ran like a madman through the street aimlessly until I was exhausted. I collapsed on the ground, looking at the sky and shouting, Zhang Ruonan! You usually cling to Yang Tianhao like a shadow, and today you even brought him home. Doing this in my own room, humiliating me like this, you are so cruel! Thinking of my son at home, I got worried and ran back to the villa. Auntie, bring me water, I said weakly. Auntie, clean the living room on the first floor. I'll sleep with Tang Yan tonight. Remember to bring down the orchid pot my mother left in the master bedroom. It likes fresh air and can't stand dust. Yes, sir, the aunt replied without hesitation. The young mistress said Mr. Yang wants water. The pork rib stew with taro you prepared. Tell her to prepare it right away and bring it up. If she doesn't, she won't come back, I chuckled. The better she doesn't come back, the more peace I will have. I was fast asleep under the covers in the living room when someone pulled the blanket off me. Zhang Ruonan's cold voice resonated. Are you deaf? I told you to prepare soup for Tianhao, didn't you hear? I am a patient who has just had surgery, why should I cook soup for him? I replied, because you brought him home today to humiliate me? Or because you want to see me dead to make room for him? Zhang Ruonan looked at me surprised, remained silent for a few seconds, and then said, Fine, you dare to argue with me? I'll count to 3 if you don't go. I endured the pain in my leg, grabbed a glass of water and threw it at her. Get out! This is my mother's house, you have no right to yell at me! Zhang Ruonan, surprised by the water thrown at her, with her white dress instantly soaked, said angrily, What kind of nerve do you have? You dared to face Tianhao in the mall that day. You hurt him, almost disfiguring him. I told you to make soup as an apology. That was already too indulgent. And you still have the nerve to make a scene with me? You're a motherless child. I thought I had lost all hope in her completely. But, unexpectedly, Zhang Ruonan is so ruthless, using my deepest and hidden pain to attack me. She has forgotten that she once took my hand and said to me, Don't cry, my mother will be your mother from now on. Whatever you want to eat, I'll tell her to prepare it for you. If anyone dares to intimidate him or call him uneducated, She was the first not to forgive him. Zhang Ruonan's oath remained unfulfilled. Today, for defending Yang Tianhao, the side of my head hurts a lot. The pain, from the soles of my feet to the top of my head, my eyes burned. I didn't want to endure this humiliation. So as not to hold back the anger any longer, I said, If you think I'm worthless, then go find Yang Tianhao. Go, why did you suddenly come back? I didn't beg you to come back, Tang Yan, I'm with Ruonan. I only came back to help pack. I had no intention of humiliating you, Yang Tianhao. The man explained. She just couldn't control herself for a moment, and I couldn't do anything about it. Okay, he said, and handed me a bank card. I'm sorry you two argued because of me. So, here's the thing. There's 5 million on this card. Take it. Stop playing the innocent. I'm giving it to you. I told him coldly, I'll count to 3, and if you two don't leave, wait for Mrs. Zhang to come in person. Go ahead, give him a lesson, said Zhang Ruonan, and her expression changed instantly. That man. My mother has always appreciated this kind of consideration. If she found out what happened today, I'm afraid. This is bad, she said angrily, pulling Yang Tianhao away. You'll see, this is what will happen. This isn't over yet. As soon as she finished speaking, I slammed the door. Zhang Ruonan dragged Yang Tianhao back to the car, her face extremely grim, with several people helping him nearby. The pointing fingers and the gloating expressions finally gave Mr. Tang a firm stance this time. This time, the young lady's actions were truly scandalous. She even ordered a sick person to simmer a soup for that young man. If it were me, I would have wanted to kill him. Even clay has 3 parts quality. That's the truth, let alone Mr. Tang. No matter how much he loves the young lady, he won't. If she could endure such torment, and if the young lady did that to Mr. Tang, soon. In time she will exhaust his love, and by then, even if she regrets it, it will be too late. It's too late, Zhang Ruonan snorted coldly. The greatest regret of my life is, I married Tang Yan against my mother's will. This man is truly evil. That year, when I regained consciousness, having recovered from the coma, Tianhao was always by her side taking care of her, while Tang Yan was extremely cunning. He insisted on getting an identical tattoo on his chest, and even claimed that the person I saved was him. He is the one in trouble, and even more ridiculous, he even brought out a box of love letters and said they were mine. I write them, my eyes are not blind. Why can't I recognize my own handwriting, these love letters? That's clearly what I wrote to Yang Tianhao. Yang Tianhao looked at Zhang Ruonan's expression. She looked disgusted, so he advised her. Ruonan, Tang Yan is too in love with you at the moment. That's acceptable. He's just been discharged from the hospital, and his emotions can't take any emotional upheaval. No, be a bit more indulgent, don't hold a grudge against him. Tianhao, you are too kind. So Tang Yan humiliated you so much today, and you still defend him? Zhang Ruonan huddled in his arms and angrily said, I'll show him what it means to make me angry. What price must I pay? Have someone draft a divorce agreement for me immediately. With empty hands, Yang Tianhao gently stroked the woman in his arms, his heart beating fast. With a grim look in his eyes, Zhang Ruonan, taking advantage of Tang Yan's illness, made this suggestion. When the time for divorce comes, his heart will have cooled, he will surely accept, and then they will take away his position as husband. Zhang Ruonan will get it easily. Yang Tianhao will change things. Thinking, he suddenly grabbed his chest, faking unbearable pain. Weakling, do you still have anything else to say? Regarding the favor I wanted to ask you, after Zhang Ruonan left, I tore up all the wedding photos and threw the photo album in the trash and then packed my clothes in a suitcase. Tang walked back and forth anxiously, saying she wanted to call Zhang Ruoan's mother. I raised my hand to stop her, telling her not to bother Zhang's mother, as she was not in good health. But if I took the young master away like this, leaving the young lady, what would happen? Aunt Tang's eyes filled with tears. I had already undergone 2 surgeries, including a craniotomy, and couldn't stand strong stimuli. Everything will be fine, I said calmly. Auntie, please help me take out the embroidered orchid painting from the living room. It's a wedding gift from my mother. Aunt Tang nodded, about to go upstairs, when suddenly I saw an expression of joy on her face as she looked toward the villa door. Young lady, why have you come back? I turned to see Zhang Ruonan walk in, frowning. Why have you come back? Zhang Ruonan ignored me, threw a bundle of documents at me, and told me to sign the agreement and accompany her to the hospital. You want me to donate a kidney to Yang Tianhao's younger brother? I looked at the agreement. My hands were shaking. I totally disagree. I am informing you, not negotiating with you, said Zhang Ruonan. Yang Tianhao's younger brother is in poor health and is in the final stage. Then she threw another agreement at me. If you don't agree to donate a kidney, we divorce. I turned pale and took a step back. So you had me do a general medical checkup earlier this year precisely for this? Seeing my extreme distress, Zhang Ruonan mocked. Saving a life is better than building 7 towers. Didn't you say you loved me madly? Why can't you even make this small sacrifice? You only lost 1 kidney, but Yang Tianhao's younger brother has kidney failure and is about to die. Why should I save his brother? I asked. Is it because you and he are inseparable and you wouldn't save your own brother when he's dying? Or is it because you dared to bring him home? You humiliated me. Zhang Ruonan choked on the words and then said immediately, You are my husband, can't you even do this little thing? Why? I counted to 3. If you don't sign, we divorce tomorrow. I ignored her, carrying my son in one arm and pulling my suitcase with the other, and left. Behind me, her cold voice resonated. "Someone put him in the car." I panicked. Unable to grab my suitcase, clenching my teeth and dragging my wounded legs, I ran out of the villa to save my life. But countless bodyguards surrounded me. My injured leg and the fact that I was carrying my son made me unable to overcome them. Finally, they forced me into the car. I heard my son crying loudly in the back seat, sweating with worry. "Zhang Ruonan, you've scared the child." "I'm not going to kill him. Why is he crying?" she said with disgust. "Someone give Tang Yan sleeping pills. He's too noisy." The assistant in the passenger seat was terrified. "Miss, the baby is too small. He can't take them." "Fine. It will cause irreversible damage to the nervous system. The baby won't die anytime soon either. Give him the medicine." "Zhang Ruonan, you are heartless." I wanted to stop her, but they hit me hard in the head. The world spun, and I lost consciousness. Just before fainting, I shouted, "Zhang Ruonan, you will regret what you did today." "I won't regret it at all," she said coldly. "Give the baby the medicine." Shortly after, I woke up and found myself lying on the operating table. The doctors and assistants were preparing for surgery. Zhang Ruonan and Yang Tianhao were by the bed. I looked at Zhang Ruonan with a look of absolute despair. "You're forcing me to donate a kidney. That's illegal. This hospital is under my absolute control." "You know it's illegal, right?" she interrupted me, picking up the documents and continuing. "You already signed the kidney donation agreement. You donate voluntarily." I looked at Yang Tianhao, eyes shining with smugness, and trembled with anger. He smiled broadly and said, "Thank you for donating a kidney to save my younger brother. I'll give you a thank you gift when you're discharged." At that moment, the chief surgeon approached. "We are about to begin the surgery. Please wait outside, Mr. Zhang and Mr. Yang." I looked at the voice and realized it was Dr. Li. I felt surprised and disappointed at the same time, and resigned myself to my fate. Zhang Ruonan was leaving the room. Seeing tears rolling down her cheeks, I felt a sudden pang of pain in my heart. She suppressed her emotions and said, "I will come home once a year as compensation. I warn you not to take advantage of me." I clenched my fists tightly. In response, I said, "As soon as the surgery is over, I will take my son immediately. I will not stay in this terrifying place again." A moment later, the operating room lights suddenly went out. "Mr. Tang, follow me quickly!" Hearing Dr. Li's voice, I jumped off the bed with joy and ran after her. I left the operating room through the side door and got into the taxi waiting at the back entrance of the hospital. Dr. Li handed me the sleeping child and the bag of supplies through the window. "I have already administered anesthesia to reduce the side effects. Go quickly." I looked at her gratefully. I told the driver to go to the riverbank, not forgetting to coordinate with the agency to fake the death. I took my phone and started recording. "Okay, as you wish. I will give you the position of Zhang Ruonan's husband. I will send you this recording, along with the recording of the previous call with Yang Tianhao. Let the agency staff who faked the death help me reconstruct everything. Make sure the evidence is complete," Mr. Tang confirmed. "With you, you chose the fake death method again, leaving no trace, right?" I confirmed. After saying that, I grabbed my suitcase and disappeared into the night. Lightning flashed across the sky, illuminating the scene. My gloomy eyes watched, waiting to see what happened. The day I left would be the beginning of Yang Tianhao's hellish life. The day Zhang Ruonan would go mad, and perhaps the day she would gradually regain her memory. Zhang Ruonan sent people to search all over the city of Nanchang all night, but still couldn't find me, as I had escaped the hospital. She was so furious that she severely punished those involved at the hospital and ordered everyone to keep searching for me. The next day was my son's birthday party. Yang Tianhao hugged Zhang Ruonan and unexpectedly said, "Ruonan, the hospital has found a kidney donor compatible with my younger brother. If you find Tang Yan, don't force him to donate a kidney anymore. After all, for a man, losing a kidney means being crippled and being ridiculed. This kidney, he had to donate it without hesitation." Zhang Ruonan's face was dark and sullen. He dared to betray me and conspire with the hospital staff to escape. If I don't give him a lesson, he will forget who he is. Zhang Ruonan waited with Yang Tianhao for a good while. Upon arriving at the hotel, she saw many guests whispering and gossiping, but there was no sign of me or our son. "Ruonan, today is your son's birthday party. And you're late! It's unacceptable!" Mother Zhang's face was full of anger. "You've made me angry again. Tang Yan is here, right? Last night, we had a small altercation. He's in a bad mood. Zhang Ruonan doesn't care. Ignore him. At most, he'll be here in an hour. Tang Yan always respects his mother. I'm sure he'll show up at the birthday party. Then I'll teach him a lesson, Zhang Ruonan thought. 4 hours passed and I still hadn't arrived. The guests started whispering. Ruonan, call Tang Yan and tell him to talk things over properly, not to cause trouble. Mrs. Zhang advised her kindly. Zhang Ruonan was annoyed. He hadn't even been able to come to such an important occasion. Was he trying to make me look bad? From morning to night, I have been completely disconnected. The guests surrounded Zhang Ruonan, gossiping animatedly. Surely he wasn't kidnapped, right? If he had been, they would have asked for a ransom. I heard that yesterday, Mr. Tang had a big argument with Ms. Zhang. Could he have been so angry that he took the child and jumped into the river? Anyway, everyone knows President Zhang detests him, right? Mr. Tang pursued President Zhang for 8 years before finally succeeding. Surely he wouldn't commit suicide. The gossip unsettled Zhang Ruonan. She remembered the night before, when she forced him to go to the hospital for a kidney transplant, and her heart filled with anguish. This man loves her madly. What if he really has other intentions? Zhang Ruonan tried to convince herself that, since Tang loved her so much, he wouldn't take his life. Perhaps he was secretly waiting for her at home. Zhang Ruonan ran out of the hotel and returned home. Upon arriving, she saw a moving truck parked in front of the villa, unloading belongings. Inside, Zhang Ruonan ran forward and grabbed the elderly manager. This is my house. What are you doing? Your husband sold us this house yesterday. I have the property deed right here. Zhang Ruonan's face contorted with anger as she snatched the certificate, staring at the unknown owner. He dared to sell the house? How is it possible? It was a gift from my mother to him. He said he would leave this villa to his descendants. You must have conspired with him to trick me. Zhang Ruonan pushed aside the person blocking her way and ran inside. The orchid painting hanging in the living room was gone. All the photos of us in the house had disappeared. And even the wooden box with love letters he had left in the closet had disappeared. And I can't find him anywhere, she said, frantically searching for the familiar voice in every room. Come here, Tang Yan, she exclaimed, counting to 3. If you don't come out, don't blame me for heartlessly handing your son over to someone else, so you never see him again for the rest of your life. But the house was eerily silent. Zhang Ruonan's heart was a sea of tears. She ran out and grabbed a passing maid. Did Tang Yan come home in secret last night? If you dare hide a single word from me, I won't forgive you. The maid stammered. Sir, since you took him to the hospital last night, he hasn't returned. Yesterday afternoon, he burned all the gifts for you, even the love letters. He burned them all? Zhang Ruonan took 2 steps back. He loves me so much that he couldn't burn all my gifts. He really burned them all. I saw it with my own eyes. Aunt Tang was there too. She feared something serious would happen, and tried to call the old lady, but Mr. Tang stopped her. We tried to dissuade him again, but the gentleman insisted on burning all the gifts, and, seeing the letter from the province, she noticed that Zhang Ruonan's expression was extremely unpleasant. And the maid became even more unpleasant. To increase her anxiety, Zhang Ruonan suppressed the pain in her heart and tried to remember the places that he might go. I know he will definitely come. The house his mother left is waiting for me. When he arrived to pick her up, Zhang Ruonan raised her voice calmly. Don't even think about threatening me this way. Then I want to see how long he can stay inside the house without coming out. He is sure of it. 100%. At most in 2 hours he will sneak back home. Sorry, I'm giving it to you. A gift to compensate, however. When Zhang Ruonan returned, the hotel banquet hall was waiting for him. It was completely dark and he hadn't arrived yet. This guy has the nerve to make me wait so long. So while waiting for the rhetoric to increase, I must reset the rules for him. Ruonan, child, hurry up and go. I'm going to welcome my son-in-law and grandson, do you hear me? My mother's voice boomed. Come on, all the guests are waiting. Do you plan to humiliate the Zhang family? Anyway, Zhang Ruonan said irritably, Fine, I know, I'm going right now, she said. Just as she was about to leave, a frantic assistant ran in. There's a big problem, miss. The master has sold everything. The entire house his mother left disappeared. He is no longer there. Zhang Ruonan's brain is buzzing. The little bee, with his tiny childish speech, lived depending on his mother, valuing that house more than his own life. He is alive and now he's selling it. Does he want to break permanently with me? I don't plan on coming back anymore, unfilial daughter. What have you done to make Tang Yan? Go. Mrs. Zhang hit her with her cane. Tang Yan had just been discharged from the hospital and was still weak. He is so weak, but you argued with him and made him angry. Are you even human anymore? How could you, Mom? You gave birth to an ungrateful and treacherous daughter. Go find him and bring him back immediately. Don't let him do this again. What nonsense, Zhang Ruonan thought angrily. Mother, don't rush, Tang Yan continued. Say it bluntly. He's angry with his son for suggesting divorce last night and avoids him deliberately. He loves his son therefore, we won't do anything foolish. Quickly notify people to look for him all over the city. Street by street, you must bring him here. Miss, give me his ID card and civil registry. All his documents were destroyed, and no information exists on how he used them. With convenient transportation, my lady found someone who has a lead on the gentleman. The man led the way. Following an old man who ran towards them with an agitated voice, Zhang Ruonan's pupils dilated. She stepped forward, grabbed the old man's sleeve and asked, "Where did you meet my husband? Where is he?" Then the old man, trembling, held up the object in his hand. "I was fishing last night at 12 o'clock on the riverbank, and I saw him." These things were buried under the rock. Signed by Tang Yan, Zhang Ruonan opened the divorce petition. Seeing my signature at the end of the document, her hands shook as she took the recording device. The sound stopped for a few seconds, then resumed, and a recording appeared inside. Yang Tianhao, if you hadn't carved and tattooed an image of me, imitating the love letter she wrote to me, a fake one. If you forged my handwriting and posed as me, how could you win her favor? If you want to blame someone, then the only fault is that she didn't love him enough. I deceived her easily. If only she had known. I would rather let your son die on the operating table than let him live, said Yang Tianhao, his voice full of emotion and smugness. So what if my son almost died because of your deception, Zhang Ruonan? Ruonan knew it. But she thought you were trying to defame me on purpose. If I were you, I would die of shame so soon. How could I be in her husband's position? End of note. My voice was full of pain. If you wish it, I will give up my position. Husband, give it to him. The voice recorder fell to the ground, and Zhang Ruonan sat down helplessly on the floor. Why is it like this? I'm not wrong at all. Tianhao is the one. I love him deeply. Tang Yan is just an imposter. He must have done it because he saw me proposing to him. They were discussing the divorce. So they deliberately fabricated this audio recording to defame Tianhao and continue the search. Bring this evil man back. I want to punish him. It's heavy. Mr. Tang will not return. The old man gave something to Ruonan from my net bag last night. On the riverbank, he also found a pair of men's sneakers, size 43. Zhang Ruonan looked at them. Gray sneakers. The scene before her wedding day flashed before her eyes. Her mother had forced her. When you go shopping with me, I tell you that if you wear shoes bought by the person you love, you will find your way home. At home, Zhang Ruonan ignored me completely, and Zhang's mother was crying. Fighter and weak Ruonan, you are the one who abandoned Tang, who loved you so much, but you abandoned him. I hugged my son and jumped into the river to commit suicide. My precious grandson, who had just turned 1, is dead. He's gone! As soon as those words were spoken, the entire hall erupted in a commotion. Unexpectedly, Tang's words were intended to be a threat, waking up the memories of the one you loved deeply, without regard for dignity, licking a dog's feet. Zhang Ruonan spent 8 years, but unfortunately, she was deceived by Yang Tianhao and found her tragic end. Tragic. Father and son throw themselves into the river. Yes, Yang Tianhao seemed refined and gentle. No, unexpectedly, he had such a wicked heart. I told Ruonan a long time ago that the person she loves, before, it was Tang Yan. But she only believed in Yang Tianhao's lies. Believe me that I said it, because I wanted to wake her up. I didn't hesitate to leave my career to do it. Regarding my role as a housewife of the family, all that remained was the ambiguity between her and Yang Tianhao, plus my intense disgust for him. I truly feel it's not worth it. My God, there are even people posting online saying that Zhang Ruonan forced Tang last night. Tang Yan donated a kidney to his younger brother, Yang Tianhao, and then someone helped Tang Yan. I escaped from the hospital. Then I was fired. This is the end for me if I were in this situation. In such a situation, I no longer have any motivation to live. Tang Yan loves me very much. Our son will not die, said Zhang Ruonan, clutching her head, which hurt terribly. Falling to the ground, in her final moments before losing consciousness, she tightly gripped the recorder. With a hesitant voice, I went in search of the best medicine. I want to know all my memories, all of them. Truly, find Tang Yan, find him. For me, this birthday party has finally ended. By jumping into the river with my son in my arms, committing suicide, my mother was overwhelmed by grief, and her old illness relapsed. She had to be hospitalized, and, at the same time, Zhang Ruonan, due to a ruptured blood vessel in the brain, was also taken to the hospital. Upon entering the emergency room, Yang Tianhao ran there and stayed there for 3 days and 3 nights, finally. As soon as Zhang Ruonan woke up, she gave him a hard slap. With an expression of resentment and a hoarse voice, "Now I remember everything. You were the one who stole Tang Yan's position. That bastard of yours intentionally tried to sow discord between us, making me misunderstand him for 8 years. 5 years from now, when he throws himself into the river with my son in his arms to commit suicide, I will show him what it means to live. It's worse than death." Yang Tianhao, his face swollen from the beating, said angrily, "Could it be? She has no responsibility for this. If he truly loved me, he could easily. He was the one who captivated me, who truly drove him to despair, who caused the death of father and son." Zhang Ruonan, with an expression of pain, clutched her chest and knelt on the floor, countless voices echoing in her ears. "Hey, Ruonan," he said. "Can I buy you these gray sneakers? All the clothes you wore, I bought them. They were comfortable and elegant. This is the perfect outfit for you, grandmother. My favorite braised pork ribs with taro. Eat a lot and see if you remember anything." My sorrowful voice echoed from the recorder. "As you wished, I hand over my position as Zhang Ruonan's husband." She hugged the recorder tightly and sobbed. "For 8 years, Tang Yan has voluntarily given up his job and his salary of 5 million yuan for me. Voluntarily staying at home as a house husband. All because I have undergone 2 skull surgeries. My body is weak and needs nutrition. But I have always been indifferent. I never gave importance to the meals he meticulously prepared. I even brought Yang Tianhao home, which infuriated Tang Yan. How could I be so despicable?" Zhang Ruonan looked up with eyes full of tears and pronounced each word clearly. "My Tang Yan is very strong. He won't die like that. When I find him, I will make him pay for his sins." Zhang Ruonan spread the complex story amidst. Overnight, netizens were outraged, branding Yang Tianhao malicious and wicked. An avalanche of comments demanded his exit from the entertainment industry. In an instant, all sponsorship contracts and movies of Yang Tianhao were cancelled. The shares of Zhang Ruonan's company plummeted, and the shareholders detested her. After this, netizens branded her a heartless woman and insulted her terribly. The hottest news was full of accusations against her and this other woman. This continued for a month, and the uproar did not cease. Even in Bhutan, I saw the news daily when checking my phone. I didn't click. I simply ignored it. I no longer needed Zhang Ruonan. Therefore, I didn't care about her life or death. I changed my name to Fang Jie. I have my own outdoor goods store and my dear son. I spend my free time playing, trading stocks online. My life was simple and peaceful. Time flew by and a year had passed. Early this morning, I took my son to the hospital for a checkup. I ran into a beautiful doctor in the elevator. The woman stared at me, her eyes suddenly reddening, and said, "Mr. Tang, it's been a long time. How are you?" "You've mistaken me for someone else. My name is Fang Si," I said, intending to leave, but she stopped me. Although I had styled my hair and removed the mole under my right eye, she still recognized me. "Mr. Tang? I also went to First High Preparatory, in the same class as you and Ms. Zhang. I am Li Suosuo. Do you remember me?" I walked away quickly. Li Suosuo followed me in a hurry. "Don't worry, I won't tell Ms. Zhang anything about our meeting. It's just as a friend. I want to help you in any way I can." I paused. A scene crossed my mind, her helping me escape from the hospital. I stopped and said seriously, "My identity is unknown. It must be kept secret," she said, giving me her bank account number. "I will transfer the hospital expenses. You helped me advance the money before." "Fine," said Dr. Li, handing me her phone and smiling charmingly. "It's okay, money is no problem. Add me on WeChat." If the baby has any discomfort, call me. I scanned the WeChat QR code indifferently. The woman in front of me continued gently. My academic conference is in the afternoon. I'm free this morning, so I'll take her for the medical checkup. Thank you, I replied. Dr. Lai accompanied me through the whole process and only left after my son's medical checkup was over. As we said goodbye, suddenly, seriously, Mr. Tang, I chose to study medicine because of you, remember? Because of me. I was stunned for a moment, my face confused. Why don't I remember Li Suo at all? She looked at me angrily. She had even written on my hand back then, but now I had completely forgotten. I was, after re-tattooing the tattoo, following her handwriting, she rolled up her sleeve, her face showing resentment. And I looked into her pupils. Her arm twitched subtly, and on her right arm appeared clearly, in thick strokes, the 4 words, "Save the dead, help the injured." The sturdy and strong pen faithfully reflects my own handwriting. The familiar letters are there. Hey, I suddenly remembered something. When I was 5 years old and in the hospital with leukemia, I met a girl who broke her leg while dancing. She was lying in bed the day after my surgery, while resting. The little friend climbed through the window and handed me a box of butterflies, Tang said. I have to go, but I give you this box of butterflies, hoping it brings you joy as you grow up. I want to be a doctor, research and develop the strongest painkiller so you don't have to suffer. It hurts a lot. I praised the girl for her determination, then used a marker to write the 4 words, "Save life, soothe." With a solemn gesture, Li Suo gently stroked the inscription on the girl's arm. With a soft hand, she said, Tang, I have always remembered your words, that's why I've been studying. I worked hard and kept my first position in the class. I hope you remember me when you see the rankings. I joined the school dance team, practiced hard every day, and hope you see the show. The New Year's dance show will remind me. I also released a box of butterflies on the rooftop. Every day, when you see a butterfly fly, you will remember me, she said. Changing her expression as she spoke. It was a fleeting moment of sadness, but I had forgotten. In her eyes, there was only Zhang Ruonan. Please. I'm sorry. I didn't know you had done so much for me. My expression changed. On the hill, Zhang Ruonan said she was the one who released the butterfly for him, although it was clearly him who released it. Li Suo said in a resentful tone, in 10th grade, when he came to see me compete in the dance competition, I tried to tell him stories from my childhood, but Zhang Ruonan stopped me because of that fight. I was disciplined, then forced to change schools, and I never had the chance to see you again. Besides, at that moment, tears rolled down her cheeks, clearly visible, when she realized she had mistaken Zhang for someone else. If it were me, Ruonan, I would be so angry I'd want to hit you, but you're still so in love with me. After chasing her for 8 long years, waiting patiently for her, she remembered the past, wishing she had known sooner. Save Ruonan! The medicine that restores nerves is good. It won't hurt you anymore. At this point, having to endure so much injustice, it's fine. All the pain will eventually pass. Everything will be fine, I said. We'll dance again someday for you to see, said Li Suo with a radiant smile. 15 days later, Li Suo came to my outdoor goods store, and every day we chatted non-stop, becoming closer and closer. And the next day, Li Suo invited me to see a movie. The dance performance was beautiful. I sat in the audience and watched for a while. Confused, at the end of the performance I gave her a bouquet of white roses. Suddenly, she covered my eyes. There was a surprise. I let go. Following her, she led me up the stairs for a long time, close to my ear. Her soft voice echoed, Okay, open your eyes. I opened my eyes and saw butterflies. Fluttering through the sky, lighting up the whole firmament, I reached out and caught a small butterfly that landed on my hand. With his fingertips, he asked Li Suo, It's so cold. Where did you get so many butterflies? They're so beautiful. My butterfly breeding facility no longer exists. Li Suo looked at me, emphasizing each word. This facility. It's been 14 years since I built it specifically for you, so I'm really surprised. Since the first time. The first time I saw you again, someone started breeding butterflies for you. Li Suo looked. I stared into her bright eyes. You've been in my heart for 14 years, haven't you? Will you give me a chance? I almost felt dazed by her loving gaze. I bowed my head and said, Will you give me some time? I am willing to wait as long as it takes. From that day I confessed my feelings to her. Lee Suosuo came to see me 3 times a day. My outdoor goods store, after its renovation, prospered more and more. Suosuo, you're amazing. My store's revenue has skyrocketed because of you. I want to give you a thank you gift. What do you want? I want you to accompany me to the alumni reunion the day after tomorrow, Lee Suosuo said sweetly. Okay? I agreed immediately. The next day, we flew back to the countryside. That night, at the alumni reunion party, as soon as I appeared in the hall holding Lee Suosuo's hand, we became the center of attention. Everyone surrounded us, whispering excitedly, "Is this goddess Lai? A substitute for her first love. He looks a lot like Tang Yan. His name is Fang Jie." Lee Suosuo smiled. "Today I will cover all the expenses for the alumni reunion. Please eat and have fun." As soon as she finished speaking, the atmosphere became even more lively. Everyone also knows that Lee Suosuo has secretly loved me for 14 years, but before she could confess, her beloved passed away. Now she can only find a substitute to soothe her longing. She fought a fierce battle with Zhang Ruonen for me, a heartbreaking struggle. Zhang Ruonen was disciplined and forced to change schools. Unexpectedly, after so many years of waiting, she finally succeeded. I want to cry, I thought. Lee Suosuo has been pursuing Tang Yan for 3 years straight. How devoted and romantic. I really admired this couple back then, but unfortunately, Zhang Ruonen snatched him away from me. Fang Jie, Lee Suosuo's parents are government officials. Her family is very good. You are very lucky to be her boyfriend. I replied with a slight smile and walked out. While I was going to the bathroom, I ran into Zhang Ruonen in the hallway. I was startled and was about to turn around when she blocked my path. She grabbed my sleeve, her eyes full of joy and her lips trembling, unable to speak. After a moment she stammered, "You're not dead. You're really not dead." The woman, overflowing with joy, threw herself into my arms, with tears streaming down her face. "I thought you and our son had drowned in the river, that your bodies had disappeared. I never imagined you were still alive. For the last 2 years, I have donated money to build a temple for them, praying day and night for your well-being and that of our son. It was so miraculous. Thank you, Bodhisattva, thank you, Heaven, for allowing me to see you again." I replied coldly, "I am not your husband. My name is Fang Jie. I am Lee Suosuo's boyfriend." "Clearly, it's you," exclaimed Zhang Ruonen, caressing my face, with tears still streaming down her face. "You are so heartless. To abandon me, you even styled your hair and removed the mole under your eye. And besides, do you know how much I've missed you these last 2 years?" She stood on her tiptoes and kissed my lips, with tears running down my cheeks. "Tang Yan, I've missed you so much I'm going crazy. Many times, while drunk, I've seen you come to pick me up and take me home. But upon waking, there was no one by my side. You were gone." I tried to push her away, but she hugged me tighter. Suddenly, a white figure lunged at Zhang Ruonen and pushed her away. "Tang Yan and the child were killed a long time ago. This is my boyfriend. Fang Jie, stop acting crazy and get out." Zhang Ruonen stood her ground, her eyes burning with rage. Quote, "Don't deceive me. This is my Tang Yan. His ears turn red. His hair stands on end when he's angry. How could it be another man? The one who should leave is you. He is my husband. Are you crazy?" Lee Suosuo's face darkened as she blocked Zhang Ruoyin's path. "Tang Yan signed the divorce before he died. He already took the child. He doesn't need you anymore. You keep bothering my boyfriend. I see you get stopped every time I try to attack him." Zhang Ruonen looked worried. "I'm sorry, Ayan. Before, after losing my memory, I confused Yang Tianhao with you and did many bad things. I even forced you to donate a kidney. I will compensate you properly later. Please, come back with me, okay?" "I am ignoring you completely," I said, wrapping my arm around Lee Suosuo's waist. "Suosuo, let's go." The two of us returned to our private room. Everyone was looking forward to playing. The loser had to complete a challenge with their partner. Unfortunately, I lost and had to play a game with Lee Suosuo. We were eating cookies, and just as we touched, Ayan pulled me away forcefully. I was stunned to see that the one pulling me was Zhang Ruonen, her face full of anguish. She threw herself into my arms, trembling completely, her voice breaking with sobs. "Ah, you are mine. You can't kiss another woman. I brought that bastard Yang Tianhao here. You can punish him however you want." I looked down and saw a man in black lying on the floor, pale, with graying hair and a 10-centimeter scar on his right cheek, looking terrifying. It was Yang Tianhao. It was I who hurt you then. You can hit me or scold me however you like. Please, let me see my son once. It's been 2 years since the last time I saw him. Every night, I dream of him crying and looking for me. I'm going crazy. I looked at my high school classmate with shattered emotions. 8 years waiting for Zhang Ruonan to recover. In my memories, I deeply hated Yang Tianhao. I hated him for conspiring to steal my position. I hated him for adding fuel to the fire in front of Zhang Ruonan, making her hate me even more. But now, upon meeting Yang Tianhao again, I find that I don't feel a single pang in my heart, as if I were looking at a stranger. Therefore, Yang Tianhao's tears and pleas mean nothing to me. Yang Tianhao took your jade box. I have had someone return it. His son is held captive in a secret place. He will never see him again in his life, said Zhang Ruonan, her eyes burning with rage and gritting her teeth. What punishment do you want to inflict on him? Just say it. I'll do it for you. I am not your husband, and I don't care how you punish Yang Tianhao, I said coldly. Ms. Zhang, please respect yourself and don't bother me anymore, otherwise I will call the police. Zhang Ruonan looked at me with an expression of pain, sad. Hanging her head like a child who has made a mistake, her voice trembling with shame, she said, "It was said that wearing shoes given to you by the person you love will help you find your way home, to find everything you've lost. For 3 years, I have always worn those pink sneakers he bought me. I don't even take them off to sleep. I am very sorry for having misunderstood him before and for causing him pain. Can you bring Dian Dian home with me? I am willing to spend my whole life atoning for my sins." I really am not your husband, I frowned, walking quickly to Li Suoshuo's side. Suoshuo, let's go. Zhang Ruonan followed me. I held up the wedding ring on my hand. It said, a jade wedding ring. He lost it. They already fixed it. Look, is it okay? Don't leave me, don't abandon me. I squeezed Li Suoshuo's hand tightly without turning back. Tomorrow we return to Bhutan, I said. I don't want to see her, Li Suoshuo said. Agreed, I'll listen to you, I said. That night, I lay exhausted on the sofa. Through the window, I saw Zhang Ruonan, a small figure standing under the streetlights. She had no umbrella, letting the rain soak her clothes, and she wouldn't stop calling my name. I walked over and closed the curtains, ignoring her. In the middle of the night, I heard thunder rumbling outside. My heart was agitated, remembering old memories. I curled up in a corner when a dark figure jumped in through the window and grabbed my hand. Don't be sad, Ayan. I'm here. Although your mother is no longer here, I will always be by your side, hearing Zhang Ruonan's voice. I was startled and pushed her away. What are you doing in my house? Get out! I am not your husband. Don't cling to me anymore. Zhang Ruonan hugged me tight. I didn't let go for a second. I understand that you hate me and don't want to recognize me, but I am sure I won't mistake you for anyone else. You are my Tangyan. Even if you turn to dust, I will recognize you. Please, wake up, stop dreaming. I looked at her coldly. Her husband had thrown himself into the river with his son 2 years ago. I am not him, just someone who looks like him. Suddenly, Zhang Ruonan lifted my white nightgown, pointing to the blue birthmark on my chest. Then tell me what this is. At this point, do you think you can still deceive me? I awkwardly covered myself with the nightgown. Get out of here! Zhang Ruonan wrapped her arms around my neck and kissed me on the lips. You are my husband. I won't allow you to look at other women, let alone bring her home. I avoided her intimacy. The noise woke the baby in the crib, who cried out. My face changed drastically. I pushed Zhang Ruonan and reached down to pick him up. The baby in the crib ran out. Li Suoshuo called security to throw Zhang Ruonan out. Li Suoshuo came out of the first-floor room, watched Zhang Ruonan leave with a strange expression, and thought, are you still not finished? Do you dare sneak into the house and harass my boyfriend in the middle of the night? Get out of here, or I'll call your mother to come pick you up. Zhang Ruonan's expression changed slightly, and she headed to the door wearily. She stopped and looked at me. Yan, I won't allow you to be with her, unless I die. After Zhang Ruonan left, I lulled the baby to sleep and said to Li Suoshuo, Suoshuo, Zhang Ruonan won't give up. How about we get engaged first? With public scrutiny, even if she harasses you, she won't dare go too far. Agreed. I'm willing to be your shield no matter how long it takes. Lee Suosuo looked at me with pity. Your body has just recovered. I don't want you to lose sleep over her harassment. The next day I woke up. Wake up, discover yourself, and Zhang Ruonan is currently a hot topic on social media. She generously donated 3 buildings to her old school in my name and, at the same time, announced on Weibo that she would transform the house my mother left into a magnificent orchid estate. In front of the reporters' cameras, Zhang Ruonan's eyes and brows sparkled with joy. My husband and son are not dead, they are still alive. I want to do everything possible to save my marriage. I hope the netizens support me. My plan is to spend 100 days searching for him, so we can reunite and celebrate the new year together. I let out a cold laugh. Hanging up the phone, where did she get the confidence to think I would change my mind? I never regretted or picked up what I had thrown away. Lee Suosuo put a plate of steamed eggs on the table with a hesitant expression. Just now, Zhang Ruonan posted a photo of her, and netizens suspected it was the late Tang Yan. How was he going to react? Tang Yan was considered dead, and he was Fang Jie. Lee Suosuo took his hand, took a photo, and then went on Weibo and posted, Ms. Zhang, you have mistaken me for someone else. I am not your husband. My name is Fang Jie, and this is my fiancé, Lee Suosuo. Immediately, Lee Suosuo shared and posted, Ms. Zhang, please respect yourself, and don't bother my fiancé anymore. The next instant, Zhang Ruonan shared and commented on Lee Suosuo's Weibo. HMPH. You insist that Fang Jie is not my husband. Then why is his son a miniature version of me? Then Zhang Ruonan posted a report on Weibo. This report, the results of the paternity test for Tang Yan and me? What else do you have to say? I was stunned and furious. She stole my son's hair for the paternity test. Lee Suosuo stood up, rocking the crib with a serious expression. This cunning woman took advantage of the chaos last night to steal my son's hat. Now I can no longer hide his identity. Even if it's revealed, I won't change my decision not to remarry. I quickly checked my phone and posted another message. Zhang Ruonan, Lee Suosuo, I will undoubtedly marry you. You only deserve to live alone until old age. My counterattack sparked a new wave of public indignation. Major media outlets simultaneously reported that Zhang Ruonan had fainted and been rushed to the emergency room. Netizens immediately erupted. My God, where did this Lee Suosuo come from? How dare she compete with President Zhang for a man? Does she not want to live anymore? Even though President Zhang mistook Yang Tianhao for someone else. Her boyfriend was so hateful, but Tang Yan directly announced his engagement, slapping President Zhang in the face. It was too cruel. Poor President Zhang, after recovering her memory, refused to believe her Tang Yan was dead. She searched everywhere, wearing the shoes Tang Yan had given her. Even with the soles worn out, she couldn't bear to change them. Such deep affection was already heartbreaking. Since Tang Yan loved the Orchid Foundation, President Zhang created it specifically to help people with amnesia recover their memory and reunite with their loved ones. This great love for her beloved was truly precious. Tang Yan had loved Zhang Ruonan so much that he voluntarily accepted the label of stalker for 8 years to help her recover her memory. It seems President Zhang hurt him deeply, and he has no intention of backing down. My God, Lee Suosuo is a medical genius, the favorite student of a veteran medical professor. Before turning 30, she was already a department head at a tertiary hospital, and her family was her face is also very beautiful. My eyes lit up as I responded to the comment. My Dr. Lai is not only beautiful but also a great dancer. The comment section of the article was filled with screams of, my God, the real person is here! Look, Ayan likes Dr. Lee very much. Something is wrong. Dr. Lai comes from a wealthy family, is a strong and single woman. How could she like a divorced man with children? There must be something between them. Netizens eagerly searched for information about our graduation in the same class, then found photos of me attending Lai's dance show. And our department even posted about it. A photograph captured a moment of Lee Suosuo dancing, her eyes full of admiration as she looked at me. The stage lights illuminated her, enveloping her in a soft golden glow. I showed the photo to Lee Suosuo, who smiled. Suosuo, look at this photo. It's very romantic, isn't it? It's beautiful, laughed Lee Suosuo, like the protagonists of a love story. I gently caressed her hand. It was enveloped in a golden light. I said softly, In fact, the day I had the car accident, hearing Zhang Ruonan say that I should give my place to Yang Tianhao, I felt so desperate that I didn't want to live anymore. It was only hearing you constantly calling my name in my ear that saved me from death. I took Li Suosuo's hand and said seriously, Suosuo, you are the light that guides me and the motivation to start a new life. I am so happy to have met you and to have been with you. We looked at each other in silence. Her dark eyes gradually filled with tears. Nestled in my arms, her voice breaking with emotion, she whispered, That day, I almost lost you. Every time I think about it, my heart aches. I reached out and wiped away her tears. Don't be sad anymore. You can do what a fiancé does. Give a warm and tender kiss, a kiss that reaches you with reverence and sweetness. I closed my eyes, absorbed in it, without avoiding it. We were absorbed in each other's company when the phone rang non-stop. I looked at the number and my expression changed slightly. I answered, Aunt Zhang, what do you need me for? Aunt Zhang's voice was urgent. I want to invite you to the bar. Ruonan just got out of the hospital and went back to drinking. She's vomiting blood and won't stop. Even Ayan's advice is useless. I truly have no choice but to bother you. Thinking about the heart problem of Ruonan's mother, I couldn't just stand by. I replied, Don't worry, Aunt, I'll go get her right away. But there is something I must tell you beforehand. I can't keep doing this for the rest of my life. I will remarry her, and I hope you advise her to leave her obsession behind and not get involved with me anymore. Let's mind our own business and live in peace. I'll talk to her. Don't worry, said Zhang's mother happily. I'll send you the location. I rushed to the VIP lounge of the bar I had been reviewing. I saw a group of people surrounding Zhang Ruonan, her face red from drunkenness. Seeing me, everyone stood up to greet me. One said, You've finally arrived. Quick, tell Ruonan not to drink anymore. She just had surgery for a stomach tumor and cannot drink alcohol. Drinking more will endanger her life. I stood a meter away from her, my voice weak. Zhang Ruonan, don't drink anymore, go home. She lifted her drunken gaze and lunged toward me, wanting to touch my face, but her hands stopped in midair. She bowed her head, sadly, dreaming again. She dreamed that Tang Yan came to pick her up and take her home. She was furious with her for ignoring her. No way, he's coming to pick me up and take me home. It's not a dream, is it? Zhang Ruonan, Ayan really came looking for you. Ruonan's best friend patted her on the shoulder. Ayan came looking for me? What? Zhang Ruonan? Her voice was a mixture of joy and disbelief. She staggered toward me, examined the box carefully for a long time, then, with both hands, lifted the red wooden box and handed it to me with extreme caution. Ayan, I have rewritten the 238 love letters you burned. The content is exactly the same as the original. Is that okay? I stood still, ignoring her completely. Her expression darkened for a moment, and suddenly, she lifted her right wrist. Ayan, I tattooed this on my wrist. I will never forget you again. Can you give me a chance to make amends? I looked up and saw 4 words tattooed in red ink on her wrist. Your wife, An Gon. The bright red letters were nestled within a blooming orchid. Extremely dazzling. In my daze, I seemed to hear countless voices echoing. And go New Year's Eve without you is so lonely, so cold. Buy me a peach oolong milk tea. And go and Merry Christmas. Remember to wear matching watches to school today. Countless words blended together, transforming into the words tattooed on the woman's right wrist. I turned around and she said, word for word, Zhang Ruonan, it's too late. My love for you ran out long ago. There is no turning back. She argued that feelings could be rekindled. As long as you treat me well, you can definitely rekindle all my love. For you, I shook my head. Quote, Zhang Ruonan, I have waited 8 years for you. In these 8 years, I have given you countless opportunities, but you have never trusted a single word I said. Even when I suffered a nearly fatal car accident, you wished I would die to make room for someone else, and you even forced me to go to the hospital to donate a kidney to Yang Tianhao's younger brother. Ah, dear, I interrupted her explanation. You said you loved me, but after losing your memory, you felt no affection or care for me. And you let yourself be easily seduced by others. Do you call this loving me? Ah, dear, I can explain it to you, Zhang Ruonan said hurriedly. I took a medicine for brain recovery and remembered something. When I rushed into the fire to save you and fell unconscious, I had a dream. I dreamed I was going with a group to the other side of the cliff and met an old man. He said the price for your survival was losing all your memories. I'm worried about you. I can't be at peace leaving you alone in this world, I said with a cold laugh to appease her. I turned around, and she even uttered words so absurd they were incomprehensible to me. I turned and left, leaving her behind with a desolate back. Zhang Ruonan, in this world, you cannot change everything. Just as the sun never rises in the west, and I will never forgive you, nor will I remarry you. You are not a good wife or a good mother. The only thing you can do to atone for your guilt is to be a good daughter. Stop drinking alcohol so your mother doesn't worry. Everything I said is true. I didn't lie to you. Zhang Ruonan chased after me, blocking my path, saying, I really had that dream. I didn't believe a word of it. I went to Li Suosuo's side. We can't go, she said. Zhang Ruonan blocked the car with both hands, her face cold as she looked at me. If you insist on going with her, then run me over. I reluctantly got out of the car and advised her gently, can't you be a little more mature? Don't pressure me anymore. I don't love you anymore. Is this how you're going to act? It doesn't matter, only if you give me a chance matters. We can go back to how we were before. Zhang Ruonan took the rosary off her hand and gave it to me with a firm voice. This is the rosary I've used since I was little. Now I return it to you. Put it on and come home with me, okay? The orchids I planted for you have bloomed. Open the bedroom window and you'll be able to see them. The fragrance is so beautiful. I still had to go home to comfort my son. I'm going to sleep. I don't have time to listen to your ramblings. The reason is right in front of me. I'll return the string of beads to the youngster. Tell Zhang Ruonan she must know her place. The person she loves now is... I am not her. Please consider this my plea, Miss Zhang Ruonan. My voice choked with emotion. Dian is waiting for me to get home. If I'm late, he'll cry all night, Truong. The weak man felt an unbearable pain, as if he had been cut with a knife. He yielded to the car, but held on tightly. I won't let go of the corner of my shirt. I swear that dream is real. You don't love me. I don't believe it. Without even looking at her, Zhang Ruonan turned and got into the car, watching the vehicle drive away. As we disappeared into the distance, I saw the silhouettes of the two embraced in the car, clutching our chests and kneeling. I collapsed on the floor, sobbing inconsolably. During those 8 years of amnesia, I didn't say a single word to Tang. All the trust I had. Today, I have tasted a bitter disappointment. I can't let Ra have the one I love. The pain of betrayal and trust is so intense, so agonizing, that I feel as if my entire body, from head to toe, is breaking into 1,000 pieces. Covered in blood and viscera, she leaned against the car, struggling to stand up, her lips tightly pressed as she gritted her teeth. I must definitely find a way to get him back. I will never give up. One day, I went with Li Suosuo to meet her parents. At that time, Zhang Ruo Nam sent me hundreds of messages begging me not to act rashly and even promising me that only if you need me to return, I will transfer 10% of the shares to you, the part of the Truong Family Corporation. I blocked the number directly and transferred it to a new SIM card. My family meeting took place. Everything went very well. Her family showed no sign of discontent because I was divorced and had a son. My son, on the contrary, was very affectionate and considerate. After the party, Li Suo and I went straight there. At the jade jewelry counter in the mall, I was choosing wedding rings and heard there was... Someone called my name. I turned around and saw Zhang Ruonan wearing a suit. She ran forward, hurriedly kneeling before me, her face pale. With an emaciated face, Angon said, I'm sorry. In the last 8 years, I have made many mistakes and caused harm. I love you very much. Please give me a chance to make things right. Don't get married. Kiss her, please. The whole place was buzzing with rumors and gossip. President Zhang is a genius. Miss Kim, a business prodigy, knelt and apologized to Tang Yan. No matter how many people see her, she is a truly loyal person. Tang Yan, you should also give her. Give them a chance. After all, they've been in love for so many years. If they get married, it's unfortunate that Mr. Zhang has withdrawn all preferential treatment, much to his disappointment. For Yang Tianhao, separating father and son is a rather severe punishment, Tang. What else do you want? For the sake of the child, please forgive Mr. Truong. After all, they are still, blood is blood. Don't let this child's childhood be deprived, Zhang Ruonan. She told me cheerfully and gently, I have transferred the ownership of Kim Fong International. Dian, consider this a welcome gift for our son. You must accept it on behalf of our son. Okay, she said, and the scene erupted into commotion again. My God, Kim Fong International, that's the building. A top-tier luxury office in our southern city, valued in the billions. A welcome gift. Mr. Zhang is truly generous. Tang Yan, at only 2 years old, already owns billions in assets. It makes me envious. If I were Tang Yan, I would have already accepted. I wouldn't have accepted the certificate. As for the property, I said with a cold expression, no matter what you do, I won't do it. I changed my mind about getting engaged to Suo Suo. Each of us should go our own way. Don't waste time. Furthermore, I said, and then signaled the salesperson to bring out the diamond ring so I could see it. Ring number 9 suits you perfectly. Try it on, it's beautiful. Li Suo Suo wore the ring, her face radiant with happiness. She wrapped her arm around my neck, stood on her tiptoes and gave me a kiss. Li Suo Suo, let go of my husband. Zhang Ruonan flew into a rage and ran to separate us, but several bodyguards stopped her. Unable to get close, she knelt on the floor, sobbing inconsolably. Tears blurred her vision, and she vaguely remembered how desperate she had been. She could only watch helplessly as the man she loved wore a diamond ring with someone else, unable to change anything. She was filled with regret, wishing she could travel back in time for having confused him with someone else. Zhang Ruonan caressed the image on her phone screen. It showed a young man smiling softly. She told herself silently, I won't give up on Ayan. I will do it. Determined to win him back, my birthday soon arrived. Early in the morning, I received a barrage of calls from Yang Tianhao. I blocked his number, and shortly after, Yang Tianhao came to my house with a pile of gifts and begging to see me. I rejected all his requests. That night, I took Li Suo Suo to her birthday party. At the entrance of the club, Yang Tianhao blocked our path. The man, with a worried expression, said, Tang Yan, the dream Zhang Ruonan mentioned, might be real. Because after her brain surgery, she was in a coma, and I was by her side. I heard her muttering delusional words, all calling for you. Will you come to the birthday party she is organizing for you? Give her the chance to start from scratch. I don't want to listen to you. I remained indifferent. I don't believe in this nonsense, and I won't go back to her. Yang Tianhao pleaded desperately. My son has had a high fever for many days, and it hasn't broken yet. His condition is extremely critical. If you don't come to the party tonight, that's your problem. I interrupted coldly, my gaze fixed. It has nothing to do with me. When you were planning to steal my position, did you ever think about this day? Yang Tianhao looked at me in despair. I regret it, he said with a face full of remorse and a trembling voice. Yang is my only son. He has a congenital heart condition and cannot handle the stress. I waved my hand coldly, and immediately countless bodyguards lunged at him, dragging Yang Tianhao away without hesitation. The weakling's voice was full of despair and hatred. If anything happens to my son, I swear I won't forgive you. You'll see. I ignored him completely, without even bothering to respond. This guy, a total scoundrel, was nothing more than a rat running across the street. Even my mother wanted to hit him. He could no longer cause trouble. The party was still lively, but then my phone rang. My heart was pounding. Zhang Ruonan kept calling, but I ignored her. When I finally answered, Li Suo Suo approached with a hesitant voice. Ah, Yan. Zhang Ruonan has been waiting downstairs for hours. Do you want to go down to see her? She paused and added, I heard she hasn't slept a wink all week preparing a birthday gift for you. I replied without emotion, I don't need her gift, let's cut the cake. When the party ended, I got in the car to go home. But as soon as I opened the door, I saw Zhang Ruonan still standing next to me, unmoving. Behind her was someone. The device was completely sealed. I frowned, my tone clearly showing impatience. I didn't want to receive her birthday gift. Zhang Ruonan remained unmoved and didn't even mention the gift. It's related to your mother. I think you will definitely like it, she said slowly, handing me a gift. Let's try these glasses, Li Suo Suo intervened. Ah, this gift is really great. To my surprise, you should try it. After they both convinced me, I finally put it on. I looked through the glass and, for a fraction of a second, I was stunned. The image of my mother appeared before my eyes. It was perfectly clear, still retaining the sweet and beautiful look she had during her life, wearing a dress. In her elegant cheongsam dress, the orchid gently reached her hand toward me and said softly, "Come here, Mom will hold you." My child. I couldn't control myself and took a step forward, burying my face in my mother's warm shoulder, in the scent of flowers. The scent of orchids lingered on her dress, as if it were taking me back to my childhood days. But as soon as I wanted to hug her tightly, the woman gradually turned into an ethereal shadow. Stubborn as she was, Zhang Ruonan stared into my eyes and asked cautiously, "This is a sensory experience project I created using AI technology. Do you like it?" "No, this gift," she continued hesitantly. "If you feel the voice or the spirit, your mother's attitude isn't authentic enough. You can check it," I thought, as if waking up from a dream. In my dream, I lowered my eyes, trying to hide the deep trembling in them, and my voice returned. "It's still as cold as before." "Very well. How much did this project cost you? I'll transfer the money to you." "Sir," Zhang Ruonan looked at me with a slightly pained expression, "I came to give you a gift." "We aren't here to talk business," she said with a trembling voice. "We've known each other for over 10 years. Why did you have to be so cunning? Why did you have to hurt me so much?" In that moment, why did I look at her with a hint of emotion in my eyes? President Zhang and I. There is no emotion to mention, only business between us. I am cold and distant. Set a price. Is 5 million enough? If it's reasonable, we can sign the contract now. I'm keeping this equipment. Take her away tonight. Zhang Ruonan was so angry her whole body was shaking. She hugged. Her chest convulsed violently and then, suddenly, she collapsed to the floor, completely losing consciousness in her final moments. Before falling into a coma, she clung to my sleeve while tears ran silently down her face. "Even if it means waiting, I will wait for you to change your mind and return to me. Even if it means waiting, even until my hair turns gray and my skin wrinkles, I will wait." I looked at her small hands firmly grasping my shirt. The bodyguard tried to pull her hand away but couldn't. This suit was the only memory. My mother used to sew this for me, and since I didn't want to tear it, I reluctantly followed her inside. Emergency room. Inside the emergency room, doctors are providing urgent emergency care to Zhang Ruo. Nam, her assistant, stood by her side and whispered softly, "Mr. Tang, President Zhang, she prepared this gift for him and was so exhausted she fainted a few days ago. She has already been hospitalized once. And if this continues, her body might not be able to handle it." And then, the assistant hesitated and then continued in a reproachful tone, "Mrs. Zhang? She used to treat him so well, and yet now he mistreats her beloved daughter. At this point, will you have a clear conscience? Everyone around you is talking," Zhang said. The general had shown enough sincerity to try to win Tang back, but he remained so heartless. So he refused to give her another chance, and, furthermore, they already have a son, and the child will be left motherless. "It's a pity," I coldly interrupted the surrounding chatter. "The child has a mother." My voice was firm, not giving anyone the chance to keep trying to persuade me. It was my business, and I would solve it myself. Knowing what to do, no one needed to intervene. Everyone exchanged silent glances and sighed. Finally, no one said anything else. After a while, Zhang Ruonan slowly woke up. She looked weakly at Ayan. "Don't go, stay with me for just 5 minutes, okay?" She grabbed my neck, her eyes full of sadness. "For 2 years you weren't here. I couldn't sleep. I always heard your footsteps in the house. Sometimes I heard you watering the flowers. Sometimes I heard you busy in the kitchen, but every time I ran down to find you, I couldn't find you." Her voice broke, her eyes reddened. Before, if I had heard those words, it would have broken my heart, but now my heart remained unmoved. It turns out that when you love someone, you feel pain for that person. You can't stand to see them cry. But when you no longer love them, Zhang Ruonan's tears are nothing more than a burden to me. I only want to get away. I pushed her away decisively, with a serene tone. Coldly. I had to go home to put Dian to sleep. "Let me go," said Zhang Ruonan, bowing her head, her face full of sadness like a kitten. "My son is abandoned, my son needs you, my brother needs you too," her voice almost pleading. "Without your love, I truly cannot live. Can you come back?" I lost my patience, and my voice grew harsher. "Zhang Ruonan, if you keep this up, I will never appear before you again." I looked coldly at the woman in front of me. Dine was born weighing only 2.5 kilos. His body is very weak. Do you know that he cannot leave me? Zhang Ruonan squeezed her fingers, her voice trembling. Then, tomorrow, can you come visit me, just for a minute? Slowly, she took an old coin out of her wallet and looked at me with pleading eyes. You promised me I could use this coin to fulfill 3 wishes. I already used one, so I have 2 left. I looked at the coin in her hand. My gaze wavered slightly. What happened before does not mean it will happen now. I coldly pulled my sleeve from her hand. Zhang Yinan did not hesitate and strode away. Leaving the emergency room, I immediately saw Li Suo holding Tang Yan. The baby was sobbing, with tears streaming down his little face. As soon as he saw me, he opened his arms and hugged me. I took him quickly, gently patting his back. Don't cry anymore, darling, Daddy is here. Tang Yan's voice was soft, almost a whisper. My heart ached. I leaned in and kissed his face several times. You're a big boy, but you cling to Daddy like this. What will you do later? They'll laugh at you. Li Suo, standing beside me, chuckled and patted my shoulder. No one will laugh at you. They're just envious that you have such a good father. I looked at the baby in my arms with a slight smile on my lips. Come on, we're going home. Wait a moment, a weak voice shouted from afar. I looked up. At first glance, Zhang Ruonan was struggling to maneuver her wheelchair, racing toward me. The buttons of her gown were carelessly fastened, her IV needle had been pulled out, and bright red blood dripped from her right arm. With difficulty, she held up a small, pretty yellow toy car, showing it to the child. A forced smile formed on her lips. Dian, Mommy designed this car for you with her own hands. Take it and play with it. The child's crying suddenly stopped. His innocent round eyes opened wide as he looked at the car with an expression of surprise and joy. Dian, come here, let Mommy hold you. Zhang Ruonan's gray eyes filled with joy as she opened her trembling arms. With a broken voice, she continued. Mommy, you are a terrible person. I am 2 years old and you still haven't held me even once. Well, later Mommy will take you to kindergarten, take you to play soccer, and raise you to be someone. The prominent heiress of the Zhang family. How does she even dare to hold my son? I quickly blocked Tang Yan's view, my face filling with extreme pain. That same year, when Dian had a high fever and it was raining hard, she drove us. No, when my child needed money urgently, she ruthlessly froze all my bank cards. I called her. Can you answer the phone, miss? I asked softly, with a gentle voice but full of questions. That night, she was devastated. She was patient and forced me to go to the hospital to donate a kidney. The child cried so much, but she remained patient. The wrong person gave him sleeping pills. Did she really forget everything? Zhang Ruonan. I questioned her until she was speechless. She could only lower her head and say, I'm sorry, Angon, at that time. I thought Yang Tianhao was actually Zhang Ruonan. I interrupted with a trembling voice. It is incredibly painful, and not everything can be solved with a simple please. The mistake, the void in my life I will never forget because of the cold and heartless indifference. My dear, my Dian almost suffered from cerebral paralysis, and besides, he was frequently ill. Pneumonia. I took a deep breath, trying to control my emotions, because she had absolutely no sense of herself. By the way, she begged me to remarry. She has no right to appear before my son. She is a hypocrite. Create and enjoy the happy moments of motherhood, I said decisively. I turned and walked away, ignoring Zhang Ruonan's desperate calls of my name. Without turning around, Zhang Ruonan stood still in place, firmly gripping the car railing. Tears rolled down her cheeks and fell onto the bright yellow toy car in her delirium. In her memory, she saw little Tang Dian still nestled in a blue diaper. Pale, he reached out his small chubby hand and grabbed her sleeve, from which pure white milk flowed. Following the corner of the child's mouth, down the back of his hand, his big, round black eyes. The child looked at her with curiosity and innocence. Was that her own blood, her daughter? The child has just recovered from a dangerously high fever, and the illness has just been controlled. How cruel, but what did that heartless mother do? She was so ruthless that she violently pushed the hand away. The child Ra uttered harsh words. What are you doing? It's disgusting. Little Tang Dian didn't understand. He understood her words, but he could clearly feel her hatred. His little face, she frowned. Feeling hurt and resentful, She buried her face in my chest and sobbed uncontrollably while she remained heartless. She hugged Yang Tianhao's son and left without a word of comfort, without even looking at Tang. Once, it was her own hands that heartlessly destroyed the desire for closeness and love. The child's compassion, added to her cruel indifference, completely cut all emotional ties. Mother and son, the sacred bond between them, the clear and innocent laughter of a child. Unbreakable. Suddenly, interrupting Zhang Ruonan's chaotic thoughts, she looked up. She saw Li Suosuo gently holding a yellow toy car. Comforting Tang. Dian, the child, laughed happily and threw himself into the arms of Li Suosuo, planting a quick kiss on her cheek. Li Suosuo said with a bright smile and a sweet voice, "Do you like playing like this, Yan?" Dian, the little child, nodded repeatedly, his round face radiating joy. "I want to fly, Daddy." The father takes his son to fly. Being carried by the father, I lovingly lift my son high and run in circles. Lively laughter could be heard in the plaza. "Mommy, look, I can fly!" the child exclaimed. With both hands outstretched, he gestured eagerly toward Li Suifu, his voice clear and bright. "That's right, you fly very well, Li." Xiao Xiao smiled and gave a thumbs up in praise. This scene caused Zhang Ruonan immense pain. She regretted everything, hitting her head and sobbing. If she could go back in time, she would have cared for Yan with devotion, comforting him tenderly after his car accident, never carelessly provoking his anger. She would have learned to care for her son, patiently nurturing their mother-child bond, but it was already too late. Now, Yan seemed to no longer see her, only Xiao Xiao. Zhang Ruonan, trembling, pulled a jade orchid ring from her pocket. Her eyes shone with fervor and frenzy. Yan was her biological child. As long as she cared for her diligently, in time, the child would undoubtedly recognize her as her mother. Once her daughter accepted her, going back to find Yan would bring her inexhaustible hope. She would not give up. She had to take them back to her mother to celebrate a reunion during the Lunar New Year, one day before the engagement ceremony. I took Tang Dian to choose a suit, and the saleswoman was very enthusiastic. They chose a small white suit with gold trim for him, which fit perfectly and matched the gold bow tie of my white dress. I was very happy with the result of my son's fitting and was about to pay when, suddenly, Zhang Ruonan led someone into the store. The woman coughed and trembled, holding a small suit and saying, Dian, Grandma made this suit for you. Try it on." Tang Dian, with a cautious expression, hid behind me. "Daddy, I'm scared," he whimpered. Zhang Ruonan's smile froze on her face, and she tried to soften her tone. "Mommy is not a bad person. I am your mother. We met in the hospital the other night, don't you remember?" She quickly operated a yellow toy car with a remote control, her voice full of pride. "What do you think, son? Isn't the car I designed for you cool?" Tang Dian peeked out curiously from behind me. With a glimmer of longing in his eyes, he ran toward Li Suosuo, innocently took her wallet and handed it to Zhang Ruonan, stammering, "Money for the car." "Silly, it's a gift for you. You don't need the money." Zhang Ruonan looked pained, reached out to gently stroke Tang Yan's head. Tang Yan, terrified, instinctively retreated several steps. That fearful retreat was like a sharp knife piercing Zhang Ruoan's heart. She struggled to hold back the welling tears and cried out with a broken voice, "Don't be afraid, son. I won't hurt you." Li Suosuo's voice was full of reproach. "Zhang Ruonan, the other night, because of your sudden appearance, Yan." Yan cried until midnight before he could sleep. I immediately shielded Tang Yan behind me, my face pained. "He is shy and very afraid of you. Could you please leave him alone and stop bothering us? Can we have a quiet life? I am very upset." I paused and continued. Zhang Ruonan's voice was colder than Li Suosuo's. Li Suosuo, who had been sleeping well, had returned to chronic insomnia because of her. Li Suosuo's face darkened as she said coldly, "I take care of them. Father and son do not need flattery, compensation, or pretenses from you. Do not waste time on my business with him. You have no right to interfere." Zhang Ruonan stared Li Suosuo in the eye, showing no signs of yielding. "That divorce agreement only has Li Ruonan's signature. I didn't sign it. According to the law, Li Ruonan is still my legal husband." Li Suosuo frowned, annoyed. "HMPH, all of Li Ruonan's personal information has already..." It has been erased, which means this person no longer exists, so how can the marriage still exist? Don't argue anymore, just leave. Talking to a crazy person. You'll never understand each other. Let's go. I said softly. Just as I opened the door, the magnificent crystal chandelier suddenly fell, aiming directly at Tang and Yan, who were huddled in my arms.